Acceptance literally occurs within 2 words. Now, the irony is that the way acceptance has been thought to be or has been taught for many years, it's been taught as a 2-word mantra. But the way that it's been taught leads you in a very confusing direction. And there's another 2-word mantra that is the real way of radical acceptance that will lead you into a path of heart-centered simplicity. If a teaching is taught appropriately, it will be so obvious you won't have to keep explaining it to yourself. Here's another way of putting it. If a teaching requires you to have a conversation with yourself to make sure that you understand it, it's not clear enough. So the old way of teaching acceptance was the 2-word mantra, I accept, right? Something would happen to you and you would say, I accept. Usually what that means for anyone employing it is I accept loosely translates to I am trying to like this so that the universe will be so impressed with my good behavior it will change my experience faster. I accept. Is it still there? I really accept. I seriously really accept. Is it changing yet? How many times have you sat there in your life and said, I accept what is, and nothing happens? Because I accept is not the actual 2-word mantra of radical acceptance. In fact, if your experience of acceptance has the words I and accept in it, it traditionally is not going to do anything, and it leads to more frustration. You either are confused and thinking you don't understand the teaching, or you're frustrated that it's not giving you what you want. The big misunderstanding is that we think acceptance is going to change our experience. Would you agree that that's kind of been the basic misunderstanding?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you. As if the practice of self-acceptance was the metaphor is you step in something undesirable, you say, I accept what is, and your shoe is miraculously cleaned. And then when your situation, your circumstances are the same as they've been, you think, oh, acceptance doesn't work. Acceptance does work. We just have to approach it with the right wording. Because the right wording gets you into the right intention, the right energy, and the doors open very quickly. So let me introduce you to the real words of acceptance, as if these 2 words become keys that unlock the door to your highest destiny. Again, we take the words I accept, put it aside, put it on a shelf, retire it. Never did anything for you, just made you miserable. If anything, I accept slowly or immediately became it's not fair. So what are the real words of acceptance? What is the way of radical acceptance? The way of radical acceptance are the 2 words, it's okay. Doesn't that already just convey the feeling of acceptance? I accept is like I'm trying to be okay with something. That's phony. I'm trying to like this. Why are you trying to like it? If you were being self-accepting, you would accept how much you dislike it. And if you weren't meant To dislike something, you wouldn't have been designed to dislike something. So why go against your individuality? You have a right to dislike things. You have a right to like things. But to try to like what you dislike, what's that all about? So the way of radical acceptance, and I just want you to, as I transmit this, I just want you to feel the difference. That I'm not necessarily giving you something for you to apply and say, if you repeat this to yourself 1,000 times, one day you're going to feel accepting of yourself. I'm going to say, these words are so powerful, I can just speak them to you, and you're going to feel the acceptance wake up within you real quick. And those words are, it's okay. I like to say it almost like a little lullaby, kind of like when I do the I love yous. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And let's be more specific. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be passive aggressive. It's okay to be impatient. It's okay to be furious. May not be okay with you, but it's okay with me. And oddly enough, I don't meet that many furious people. Everyone always smiling when they look at me. I'm the one ready, willing, and able to welcome fury in any moment. Anyone has some fury to share? Hey, I'm right there to listen. Someone says, I'm furious. I'm interested. Let's talk about this. Tell me about your blind fury, your white hot rage. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be lonely. But only when you are. Someone might say, it's not okay to be afraid. But that person who's saying that isn't actually afraid. So it's okay to be afraid, but only when you are. Someone who says, but it's not okay, that's because you're not right now. The rule is, it's okay to be whatever you are right now. And if you're not that right now, why be concerned? It's okay. It's okay. The inability to feel what's arising and to make any feeling okay, to suppress it, to deny it, is actually what builds up the volcanic volatility that once it explodes out of you, makes you unconscious, and that makes you capable of doing some rather incomprehensible things to yourself or others. So the big fear is it can't be okay because I don't want to be overwhelmed by these feelings. But see, unconscious behavior, criminal behavior, is not about the emotions in your body. It's about how conscious or unconscious your relationship is with them. And the more you deny, suppress, and push away certain feelings, the more those feelings have the power to overtake you. Does that make sense? The more accepting you are, which doesn't have to do with like or dislike. In fact, we can just incorporate like and dislike into our little radical acceptance. It's okay not to like something. It's okay. You don't have to like how you feel. You don't have to like who you are. You don't have to like who you've become. Here's radical acceptance. You don't have to like yourself in order to love yourself. You could literally sit with yourself and I really dislike everything I've become, and yet I can't help but see that this one needs more love than anything else. You don't have to like yourself in order to love yourself. Isn't that interesting? And I say that because so many of us are trying to love ourselves, and the truth is you don't like yourself. It's okay not to like yourself. When I was growing up, I didn't really like myself because I didn't know myself. And instead of getting to know myself, I just relied on other people to like me for me. So the schoolyard became my little political campaign rally, trying to sell everyone on Little Matt. Hoping other people will like me, so maybe I'll come around and like me. And there were many people who liked me, but I never could get on board with that. So here I was growing up very well liked, and I was never sold on it. Imagine that, being a strange political candidate whose greatest opposition is within yourself. The one campaigning to be liked and the one denying that one the right to be liked, all within the same consciousness. So that's pretty outrageous. And yet it's something we all go through. So you don't have to like yourself in order to love yourself. And when you start loving yourself, or at least stepping into the way of radical acceptance, the indication that you're going in the right direction, expanding your consciousness in a heart-centered way, is that you start to like yourself. But liking yourself is a cultivation of spiritual awareness and maturity. So if we wish to love ourselves and develop the ability to like ourselves, which will then create the ability for you to enjoy being in the presence of others no matter what experience they're having, then the way of radical acceptance can help you in this matter. A feeling arises in your body no matter what triggered it, and you realize that the purpose of the emotion that you're feeling is to deepen your intimate relationship with that emotion. It's like a flashcard, and the feeling says, okay, this time maybe you don't run away, you don't look away, you don't avoid, you don't suppress, you don't justify, you don't blame. Instead, you engage the way of radical acceptance. It's okay, I feel this way. No matter who seemed to have triggered me, this is just a chance to deepen my relationship with myself. I am one step closer to liking myself just by saying it's okay that I'm feeling this way, even if I don't like the circumstances that seem to inspire it. Does that make sense? It's okay. And then you're feeling the emotion, and then a thought arises. By the way, none of this is here to be controlled. Controlling your feelings, controlling your thoughts, I'm not going to say that's the old way, because that never worked. That just makes spiritual people more crazy. I've had people come up to me, I can't control my thoughts. Well, of course you can't. No one can. They're not here to be controlled. Trying to control your thoughts or blaming yourself for a thought is like hearing a song on the radio, not resonating with the storytelling, and then blaming yourself for writing that song. You didn't write that song. You're just the listener to the radio. You're just the listener to the noise in your mind. And the only reason why you have the thoughts you have is to bring up the very things that shows you what you still blame and judge, so you can go deeper into the way of radical acceptance. It's okay that I feel this way. It's okay that I think this about this situation. It's okay that I feel triggered, and it's okay that I look at the person I think that caused it and I think, screw them. Screw them. Screw them. Wouldn't it be so much easier if you had that reaction to something? You thought, screw them, and you think, that's right, honey, screw them. That's right, that's exactly the right answer. Screw them. That's real acceptance. Like, why are we afraid to go through the very process we're going through? Why do we think things are wrong? Like, here's a funny, interesting idea. Why is it wrong if something is naturally arising? If you're naturally having thoughts, why is that wrong? It's naturally happening. Why is it wrong? Like a tree bears fruit effortlessly, and the tree's thinking, this shouldn't be happening. Oh my God, what is this? Oh my God, this shouldn't be happening. Apples everywhere. Now they're falling off. Oh, this shouldn't be happening. You're like a tree bearing fruit to feed the animals around you, and the tree, this shouldn't be happening. Every thought and feeling you have is absolutely a part of your journey. Why shouldn't it be happening if it's naturally arising? You want to know what God's will is? Whatever naturally arises, which is everything. Very good. So why are you blaming yourself for the things that the divine is doing so naturally within you? And why could it be wrong if it's so naturally arising? Wow, I'm in this rich, interesting predicament, and this person over here seems to be what I think is the cause. Wow. My hand wants to be involved, one finger in particular. Not the pinky, not the index, not the thumb. What finger wants to come out to play? Oh, that one. It's okay that you feel this way. It's okay that you think this way. It's okay that you act this way. If you allowed it to be okay for you to act, think, feel, and behave the way you do, you would raise your vibration to such a frequency that all negative thoughts, all contracting, limiting feelings, and all self-defeating, habitual, subconscious patterns would dissolve out of your energy field within a matter of days. Because it can't live in that vibration. The things you work so hard to spiritually do cannot live in a state of acceptance. And usually the hard work you're doing on this spiritual path is from an energy of pursuit, seeking, dissatisfaction. And that's the energy that those patterns live in. So you're maintaining the existence of what you're trying to get rid of instead of raising the vibration and letting that energy eradicate what you can't destroy.